Ripple, XRP, and the future of banking. That's what we talk about in today's video. But first of all, I will drive and you will listen to the intro music. Folks, fellows, and partners in crime, let me welcome you to another session of the Finance Real Talk. Today, live out of the car, as I would like to enjoy a little bit the weather outside there after a long working day. Ripple, XRP, and the future of banking. I'm pretty sure that many of you out there don't understand or maybe misunderstand that Ripple is not the cryptocurrency. It is the company behind XRP, which is at the end of the day the cryptocurrency or a kind of transport vehicle for payments. Because the thing what Ripple is going to do is it offers blockchain technology for payments to banks. But it makes more sense when we listen to the CEO of Ripple and how he describes the work of Ripple.
Developer Ripple's XRP token has surged more than 500% this year. Brad, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, just tell people what exactly Ripple does, because it's not just the currency, also you're very involved in blockchain.
Absolutely. So Ripple sells a blockchain technology to banks and payment providers and other financial institutions to do real-time settlement between banks. So today, if Morgan wanted to send $10,000 to London right now, the fastest way for her to do that is to drive to Newark or JFK and fly it there. Our view is, in a world of the internet, you can stream video from the space station, you should be able to do real-time settlement between banks, and we sell technology to banks to do that.
And the banks are getting on board with this because they know there's a lot of paper pushing and also a lot of money attached to those settlements.
For sure. So we have over 100 banks working with Ripple today around the world. I think the vast majority of banks, like 99.9% of banks, actually are paying other banks, the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. So a lot of the banks are very excited about democratizing how these global payments flow.
There's a belief that, you could transform the global payment system over time, although then the alternative argument is you need a centralized. You can't have it decentralized, that it actually benefits from efficiencies. I would assume you come down in the latter.
Yeah, for sure. I think anytime you can do something without that central counterparty, you're going to reduce friction, which is measured by time, cost, speed. So by removing that central counterparty and going direct from point to point, you can skip going from the Bank of David to the Bank of Morgan to the Bank of Mike. You just go directly to the Bank of Mike.
So if the immediate opportunity is efficiencies in this area of the actual kind of nuts and bolts sort of plumbing of the financial system, how does that relate to the value of the Ripple tokens or of the Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies? They're taking on a separate life, it seems, from the future of adoption of this technology.
It's a great point, and I think one of the things we all have to remember is that the value of a token over the long term is really going to be derived by its utility. What problem is it solving? How big is that problem? How many customers do you have? There's no question there's a lot of hype in this system, and I don't actually think that's a good thing. For Ripple, we use this digital asset called XRP to settle liquidity needs between banks. So today, there's $27 trillion parked at different banks around the world so they can make payments between each other. Our view is you can use a digital asset like XRP to do that in real time. Because XRP has been so efficient, it settles a transaction about 3 seconds compared to Bitcoin.
So it just passes through that currency for that period of time.
That's correct.
Smart way to keep it pretty simple about the explanation of who Ripple is and what they try to achieve. I discovered also another YouTube channel called 99 Bitcoin, where I found another explanation which I really liked and would like to share with you folks. So let's listen to 99 Bitcoins and what they really try to explain what Ripple is, what XRP is, and how it could be used.
Hi, I'm Nate Martin from 99bitcoins.com, and welcome to Crypto Whiteboard Tuesday, where we take complex cryptocurrency topics, Ripple and XRP, one of the leading cryptocurrencies around. Have you ever had occasion where you needed to wire money to someone only to be told it might take several days for that money to appear in their account? Well, that's because most major banks are still using systems that were built 40 years ago for this task. SWIFT, MoneyGram, and Western Union are just some examples of slow, expensive, and relatively limited systems that financial services use to transfer money. On top of that, not all of the banks are connected via the same network. So, in many cases, you don't even have a direct line between two banks when they need to transfer money from one account to the other. In order for Bank A to send money to Bank B that it doesn't have any direct relationship with, more often than not, it will have to go through several intermediary banks, searching for common network connections between each other in order to clear a path for the money. That's why international wire transfers are so slow and costly. Each bank along the way takes time to process the transaction and a fee for servicing the process. In some cases, bank transfers must involve currency conversions, which make things even more problematic and expensive. For example, directly transferring currency from Japan to Nicaragua means turning yens into Cordobas, which is generally not feasible. The reason is that Japanese banks don't usually hold accounts denominated in Cordobas because there's not a lot of demand for them. However, both Japanese and Nicaraguan banks hold accounts in dollars. So instead, an individual or bank will usually trade yens for dollars and then dollars to Cordobas. As you can imagine, this process can be costly due to the multiple conversions. In short, the banking system today doesn't have a main connecting network with a uniform set of rules. Each time you want to exchange or send money through the banking system, you need to find a path to transfer that money, depending on the circumstances. That's exactly what Ripple is here to change. Just like the internet has its own rules or protocol to transfer information, known as HTTP, RippleNet uses a protocol known as RTXP for moving value around the world. Ripple Labs, the creators of RippleNet, aim to create the Internet of Value, a way for money to move as quickly as information does. Through the use of RippleNet, there is no reason to pay a fortune and wait days when transferring money globally. The idea for Ripple was actually first conceived way back in 2004 by Ryan Fugger and was called Ripple Pay, but in 2012 was passed to Jed McCaleb and Chris Larson, who founded OpenCoin, later to be called Ripple Labs. Unlike most cryptocurrencies who focus on the individual, Ripple Labs aims to serve banks and payment providers, allowing them to lower transaction costs and expedite settlements. But how does it all work? RippleNet is a network based on a set of rules known as the Ripple Transaction Protocol, or RTXP for short. The network consists of computers known as validators that are spread around the world and maintain a shared ledger of who owns what. Validators make sure every transaction sent through the network follows the RTXP rules. Anyone can run a validator and help maintain the Ripple network, just like anyone can run a Bitcoin node to maintain the Bitcoin network. Companies who want to access the Ripple network can use gateways. Gateways, which are usually run by banks, act as entry points to Ripple for people outside the network. It's the same idea as going to a bank or a credit company to gain access to the banking system. So Ripple basically offers businesses an alternative to the banking system in the form of an Internet of Value called RippleNet. Ripple products like xRapid, xVia, and xCurrent are offered to companies in order to optimize their current solutions for transferring money around the world. It's worth mentioning that for you, as a customer of a financial service using Ripple, this solution is transparent. If the bank switches to this technology, your bank account balance could be residing on the XRP ledger tomorrow and you would never know it. This all sounds great, but what type of currency can actually be sent through the Ripple network? Well, unlike other cryptocurrency protocols which support only their own asset, Ripple offers two different types of currencies, IOUs and XRP. IOUs are tokens on the Ripple network that can be stored on any Ripple wallet. Just like we can store a variety of Ethereum tokens on an Ethereum wallet, we can have plenty of tokens coexisting on the same Ripple wallet. But we should really stop the comparison here, since this is as far as the similarities go. Any participant on the Ripple network can issue an IOU. However, an IOU doesn't represent something you own, it represents something you owe. It's a debt, an obligation to pay back something you got in real life. When I issue an IOU to someone, it means I owe them something. When I hold an IOU issued by someone else, it means someone owes me something. Each IOU has a name that is comprised out of who issued it and what it represents. For example, USD.Bitstamp is an IOU issued by Bitstamp promising to pay back US dollars. An IOU can be issued for any type of real-world asset. For example, you can have an IOU for dollars, euros, gold, oil, airline miles, and even cows. For each asset we borrow, we will issue a new IOU. Unlike other forms of debt that can be traded, IOUs for the same asset type are not interchangeable if they were issued by two different people. For example, if I borrow money from you and issue you a 20 USD.Nate IOU, that IOU can't be added to a 20 USD.Bitstamp IOU. Since each IOU has a different credit line or trust line, you can only redeem the USD.Nate IOU from me. It's important to note that the IOU itself is not the asset. It's just a promise by the issuer to give you the asset back in the future. This promise won't do you any good if the issuer isn't good for his word. That's why trust plays an important issue with IOUs. In order for you to accept an IOU from someone, you have to trust that they will be able to pay you back. In RippleNet, this is known as a trust line. A trust line is somewhat similar to a line of credit with the bank. It's an agreement to trust someone up to a limited amount of money. Aside from IOUs, there is another currency the Ripple protocol supports: XRP. XRP is a currency issued by Ripple Labs to help transfer payments through the Ripple network. For example, if a bank wants to move large amounts of money, instead of needing to use multiple intermediary banks to transfer the money, it can just convert the money to XRP and send that XRP to the recipient bank. It's important to note that two banks don't have to use XRP to transfer assets between them. Instead, they can choose to keep an open tab using IOUs only without ever closing it. Still, XRP is a form of payment that, unlike an IOU, is final and considered a tradable asset by anyone on the network. Unlike IOUs, XRP is the actual asset, so there is no counterparty risk. In other words, once you received payment in XRP, the transaction is made and there's no fear that the other party will not meet its obligations for payment. So, if no trust is needed and no trust line needs to be opened when sending XRP to the other network participants, why do we even need IOUs? The simple answer is that XRP, being a cryptocurrency asset by itself, is relatively volatile and also not respected worldwide. IOUs, on the other hand, are treated and valued as the assets each represents. XRP has additional advantages as well. It's fast and scalable. Sending an XRP transaction through the network takes 4 seconds as opposed to Bitcoin's 10-minute average. Also, XRP can handle 1,500 transactions per second, while Bitcoin can handle only 7. So the upside of using XRP as a form of payment is pretty obvious. One question people ask us a lot is, if XRP is a cryptocurrency, can it be mined? The answer is no, it can't. Mining in Bitcoin is done in order to confirm and determine the order of transactions on the blockchain. In Ripple, transactions are handled through a different process. Pre-mined a total of 100 billion XRP, and according to the Ripple protocol, no more XRP can ever be created. You might be wondering, who owns all of these pre-mined coins? 20 billion XRP were given to Ripple founders Jed McCaleb, Chris Larsen, and Arthur Brito. Ripple Labs holds around 7 billion XRP. 40 billion XRP have been sold to companies and individuals. The remaining supply is sealed in a smart contract that releases 1 billion XRP into Ripple Labs' hands each month until all of the 100 billion XRP cap will be reached. XRP can be divided into 6 decimal points, with the smallest unit being known as a drop. If you want to hold XRP, you will need a wallet that supports the currency and a minimum deposit of 20 XRP in your account. This is done in order to prevent people from spamming the Ripple network by opening a large number of accounts. One last thing to know about XRP is that the XRP supply decreases over time, making it, in theory, more valuable as time passes. This is done through destroying the transaction fees attached to each XRP transaction. For example, at the time of shooting this video, we're down to about 99.99% of the original 100 billion XRP. The missing XRP are transaction fees that have been destroyed and can never be used again. So, Is it a good idea to invest in XRP? When people invest in XRP, they are basically betting that in the future, banks and institutions will use XRP to move value and will therefore buy XRP and drive up its price. Of course, banks could always use IOUs instead, and that will keep XRP's price rather stagnant. Therefore, the question of will XRP rise in value is mainly a question of whether a majority of banks and payment providers choose to utilize it instead of their current infrastructure. Before we end this video, I want to touch upon one more subject, and that's the criticism about Ripple being a centralized platform.
It should be crystal clear by now that Ripple's biggest aim is to improve payments worldwide. This leads to another question. Can Ripple replace the SWIFT network worldwide? So that's definitely where the opinions differ on this question. It's not really clear. I guess there are some wishes and also some great ideas that it could replace the SWIFT network. Interestingly, Ripple is considered for some CBDCs, and that is something what we can observe hopefully in the short term. So that's it for today's ride along with you folks. I hope you enjoyed the content so far and have now a better understanding about the Ripple and XRP and the use cases, especially for the future of banking and payments. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that, if you think that Ripple can replace the SWIFT network or not. In my humble opinion, I think they can, maybe not on a short term, but on a mid to long term, they could definitely achieve that. Don't forget to smash the like button. If you are not subscribed to that channel, also hit that subscribe button. Appreciate much your time. Take care, stay safe and healthy, and see you soon. Bye.